So I decided that I was going to record my speech that I read at your funeral and put it up on your wall so that it'll always be there and I can listen to it every day and remember exactly how I felt that day. Not like I'll ever forget, but I just wanted to do it. So I'm going to start with the story that I read. Once in a little pond in the muddy water under the lily pads, there lived a little water beetle in a community of water beetles. They lived a simple and comfortable life in the pond with few disturbances and interruptions. Once in a while, sadness would come to the community when one of their fellow beetles would climb the stem of a lily pad and would never be seen again. They knew when this happened their friend was dead, gone forever. Then one day, one little water beetle felt an irresistible urge to climb up that stem. However, he was determined that he would not leave forever. He would come back and tell his friends what he had found at the top. When he reached the top and climbed out of the water onto the surface of the lily pad, he was so tired and the sun felt so warm that he decided he must take a nap. As he slept, his body changed, and when he woke up, he had turned into a beautiful blue-tailed dragonfly with broad wings and a slender body designed for flying. So fly he did, and as he soared, he saw the beauty of a whole new world and a far superior of life to what he had never knew existed. Then he remembered his beetle friends and how they were thinking by now he was dead. He wanted to go back to tell them and explain to them that he was now more alive than he had ever been before. His life had been fulfilled rather than ended. But his new body would not go down into the water. He could not get back to tell his friends the good news. Then he understood that their time would come when they too would know what he now knew. So he raised his wings and flew off into his joyous new life. I love that story. Now I'm going to read my words that I wrote for you. From the day I found out that Mark was in the hospital, I've had a never-ending tape playing in my head of all the things I wanted to say to him. Some of those things I was able to say to him at the hospital. I was able to tell him how proud I was of him for fighting so hard. I was able to tell him how strong he was. I was able to tell him I loved him. But that is only the beginning. So I wanted to take this opportunity in front of all Mark's friends and family and Facebook to tell him exactly what I've been wanting to say. Sparky. On March 21st, I was leaving my house to go to class, and I stopped in my driveway to take a picture of a tree. I noticed the tree, and I noticed how beautiful it was. So I took a picture, and I put it up on Facebook with the caption, "I don't think I've ever been this happy before in my entire life." 3 hours later, I found out that you had been in an accident. But for that brief moment, I was the happiest I'd ever been, and you gave me that. We've been friends for a long time, Sparky. You've always been my person. One of the things that drew me to you the most was that you knew exactly who you were, and you never compromised that or what you believed in. You knew how you felt and were never afraid to tell me. You knew right from wrong, and you always acted with integrity. You taught me what it means to be a real friend to somebody, to be loyal and honest, to be patient and understanding. You had such a good heart. You cared about things. You really thought about things. You cared about people. There isn't anything in the world you wouldn't have done for your family or your friends. You were somebody that I could talk to about the important things in life, about what really matters. We had conversations about the types of people we wanted to be and how to live a life that meant something. I could tell you anything and you would always listen and never judge. But at the same time, we could act like total and complete idiots around each other, and that was perfect too. You made me laugh harder than anybody I've ever known. You had a light inside of you that I was drawn to, and I know I wasn't the only one. Spending time with your family and friends over the past few weeks has made me love you even more. Seeing the impact you had on all of them and how much they all loved you is the greatest testament to the amazing person that you were, and I'm truly honored to have had you in my life. I cannot describe the depth of pain I feel having lost you and having lost a future with you. Sometimes the pain is so intense I think I won't survive through it. I keep thinking about what could have been, what should have been, and how amazing our lives would be. I get angry that as soon as we finally got it right, you were ripped away. How is that fair? But then I stopped myself, and I realized how incredibly lucky I am that after all of these years of having you as my best friend, for the last few months I was able to have you as my world. As devastated and heartbroken as I am that you are gone, You have left me with the most amazing gift of a love that is so beautiful, so pure, so deep, and so real that sometimes I feel like my heart will literally explode. I didn't know that a love like this was even possible, and I am the luckiest girl in the world for being able to have experienced that love with you. I will carry that love with me in everything that I do every day for the rest of my life. I will live a life for both of us, one that you would want to be a part of, and one that you would be proud of. I know that you have forever changed me, and I will be a better person for having known you, for having loved you, and ultimately for having lost you. On March 21st, I put up a picture and said, I don't think I've ever been this happy before in my entire life, and I will never forget that deep, complete, utter happiness that you brought to me. I love you so much, Sparky. I cannot wait to see you again, but until then, I will carry you with me in my life, in my spirit, and in my heart. I love you so much, Mark. Forever.